Hello. I went away to look at these images, and you might be wondering, well, clearly I'm looking at the images right now, but that's not what I mean. I'm rendering the images as PPM files, and I don't have, well, I can open them with GIMP, but I'd ideally want a lightweight program I could launch from the terminal and see the PPM files. So I'm going to try to make something that does that. So Visual Studio Code has an extension that lets me look at PPM files, but I want to be able to just launch it from the terminal. Well, I guess I could do code /image. That works. I think I'll make a simple viewer that can look at the images, and I have an idea of how I want to do this. So I'll use ebit engine. I think I'll start with opening a window. Let's go and look at how to do that. Just copy all of this and paste it into a project. Let's see if it works. Go run cmd/ppm viewer. No required. Oh, right. Go mod tidy. And now if I try to run it, go run ppm viewer. Oh, it's a ppm viewer. Well, it's not a ppm viewer. Now let me see how fast this actually opens up, because that is important for me. Now if I do ./bin/ppm on Mississippi. Okay, that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. That opens up fast enough. Let's go look at the ppm format. Actually, let's not look at the ppm format. It's quite simple. Let's figure out how to load files in Go. Golang docs. Give me some Golang docs. Okay, there we go. Now where would we go for this? This would be in the standard library, right? Yeah. Where would this be? Where would this be? OS? How are we writing the files? Let's go look at the main file, main.go. Look at the main file, because this is where I'm writing out the ppm file. So os.write file. So I'm assuming there's an os.read. So let's go look for that. Opening a file and reading some of it. Oh my god, that's exactly what I need. There's a read file. Is read file and file.read the same thing? Let's try to open the file. Well, it needs to know where this file is. Now I want the main file to take in some sort of command line args of what file to read. So let's go figure out how to do that. Golang command line args. Command line arguments are a common way to parameterize execution programs. Yes. Okay, it's just os.args and it's a slice. Command line flags. Okay, so flags are supported. Yeah, let's use this. So over here I can go drag this down. Can I drag this down? Thank you, Windows, for mouse support. So we're gonna go file. So this is like default. Okay, default value is image.ppm. Actually, let's call it img.ppm because that's what the file is called. And then just like a description. Add to open command. Okay, I think that's what we want. The name will be file path, file. Where is that? Now we can start reading the file. Yeah, let's make a slice of bytes. So one color is 1 byte. No, 3 bytes. A color is 3 bytes. 3 bytes times 600 by 600. Well, I could load the header. See, that is clever. That is the smart. I should load the header, read how many bytes I have, and then make a buffer that big, and then load the rest of the image into there. So let's try to do that. So how long would the ppm header be? So there's P6. There's a new line. There may be a carriage return. No, there is no carriage return. There's only a new line. What else? What else is happening? There's numbers. So there's size. So there's width, there's height. And then there's new line. Then there's the color thingy. So it just says 255. We can read, I don't know, let's just read the first, like, I don't know, 100 bytes Let's read the first 128 bytes so it looks fancy. And I think that'd be enough unless someone tries to open an image that's like 50,000 by 50,000 or something. I don't know. But this should be fine for now. So let's make this. Oh, right. That's not how that works. And it's called byte. Okay. So we'll make a buffer and we'll read the file into that buffer, but we only want to read up to that much. So how do we do that? Go file reading. Go by example reading files. No, bytes read error, and that is file.read length b. Okay, so it'll only read up to that many bytes. Perfect. No, I want to take the buffer and do something. I want to start reading them and start parsing shit. How would I do that? How do I parse strings? How do I split a string? Golang split string. Delimiter, yes, but I don't want to split it at delimiter. I want to split it at the fields. That's what I want to do. Raw header is, so I cast it to a string. Okay, that's the raw header. And then I want to take that raw header and then do string.fields to get header fields is string dot fields on raw header. Okay, and then all I want to do is print out header fields at 0. Now this should print out P6, hopefully. So let's try to run this. It says hello world. Oh, that's the title. I set the window title to P6. This game struct. Let's go and pass in the format. Format is a string. I'll have to keep that capital. Alright, let's pass in a format. So game header fields. So P6, then the X and the Y, width and height. So 1 there. So that should say like 600, I think. So the title should be P3 and it should say 600 in the actual, well, it will say that if I actually move this and write it here. So g dot format. Okay. So 600. So let's actually make a new struct. So type. So it's called P6 image because we might make a P3 image as well. Struct width height. And they're ints. An image should also have a buffer. Buffer of bytes. I want to actually display this. So how does eBitEngine's images work? eBitEngine new image. Can we create an image from bytes? Wait, does the image reader understand PPM? I may not have to even do anything really. I just have to pass the image. Wait, hold up. Can I just pass in the whole? Do I not even need to like write anything? This image is like 5 megabytes. So let's try to allocate. This is 1 megabyte times. Okay, that's 1 megabyte. Let's say 10 for now. So that should be able to handle what we're doing. You know what? Let's just to be safe. Let's say 20 megabytes just to be safe. Okay. Now, would that do it? So can I just grab the image from there? So img error. can I do that? What's this thing? It outputs something else. Let's go look at what that is. Image.decode. What is image.decode outputting? Image, a string, and an error. The string returned is the format name used during format registration. Okay. So let's just print out that string. Format. Oh, it's just fmt print format. Okay, an image is not being used, so it's complaining. Let's set that to this for now. Okay, let's try running this and see what it prints. Unknown format. Okay, so we're gonna have to write it ourselves. I can grab the whole image like this. Well, let's not grab the whole image. Let's do what I was doing earlier. Let's just grab the header. So we'll grab like 128 bytes off the tip and say that's the header. Let's actually just write out a header. So it goes P6. And then next line will be the size of the image. So let's say it's like 600 by 600. The next line will be how high the color goes. And then from there on it's bytes. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think 128 is more than enough for this. So let's go and read out some more data. We want to fill out width, height, and a buffer of things. What's this image struct? Image. Okay, we can't actually access any of these stuff. Oh, image.set. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. This is expecting RGBA pixels. Mine are RGB. So I'll have to write out like a little fake alpha value. Also, I don't know what the fuck pre-multiplied alpha means. Okay, so it doesn't matter for me is what I'm hearing. So I can just set those to 1 and probably be fine. Or 255 since these are reading bytes. Okay, yeah, we'll be fine. How to parse int from string. String conv package. String to int. That's what I want. Header fields. 0 is the format. 1 is the width. So 1 header fields, 2 is the height. Right, I have to deal with the error value. So this is the exact case that was presented in this article. So I can literally just use this pattern here instead of writing out the error handling twice. So I could go from the back of the file all the way to where the header is and then read that. That way I don't need to read the header again. So I could have something like this. And then I could seek file.seek. What is a good offset? Well, that would be the length of buffer. Negative len buffer bytes. I want to go that many bytes backwards. And from io.seek end. Okay. That should have read the whole image. So now I can go image.buffer equals buffer. Now I have a buffer. Let's go convert to an ebit engine buffer and then render. Let's go look at the docs again. Docs ebit engine. I don't know. Give me an example of an image. Image is ebit and dot image g dot image raw image. Draw us to give an image on the given image. Okay, so I should probably be doing screen dot draw image and then g dot image. What is draw options? Empty draw options. Okay, well now you want a pointer. Now when we make our game, it doesn't have the image, of course. So let's go make the image. So ebit engine dot image. So let's actually go new image, width and height. So we have W and H going. Perfect. So for Y in, or not in, for Y range height X, for X in range width. Okay. So we're looping through it, and now we just go ebit image dot. We're gonna have to grab bytes one by one. So we can go idx equals y plus x, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, y times width plus x. Y times width plus x. Okay. So index is y times width plus x. So we're gonna go and write. What? Oh, that's not what we want. We want to write pixel by pixel. Do we need a new buffer? We could just write directly into the image, right? X, Y. I need a color. Color is. I'd get the index of each pixel. Each pixel is 3 bytes. I have to multiply the whole thing by 3. So now I can go image.buffer.0. No, image.buffer.idx. Image.buffer index plus 1. Image buffer index plus 2. And then 1. Or no, it would be 255. Okay. Let's go set that to a variable. Color is this. And let's go set that. Okay. And we want an image. Let's try running it. It worked. Okay, cool. We have an image viewer. How much time did that take? That took 1 hour and 26 minutes, but we have an image viewer. Now it doesn't do anything. It just shows the image. I would like it to do something. It'd be cool if we could drag it around, move it, right?